Hi, good evening, Suren. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, good evening. What's the time? 8:37. Okay, we'll get started. Okay, good evening all. So, today we're gonna start a new module here, which is called the function. Okay, Python function and the modules. Okay, we'll touch base on the theoretical part today to understand what is function, how it works, and what is the use case and how it benefits. Okay, so if you recall from our previous session last week, we are very familiar with control flow statements, right? If, else, while, break, continue, okay? Past statement, right? How to use all these things we have seen. Okay, those who have missed out, whatever the recordings that were shared by Saab, please download it on your laptop and you can store it, and later on you can refer those. Okay, so today's topic is on functions and modules. Okay, so what is a function? Okay, so if you ask me in simple term, a function is a reusable block of code. Okay, for example, you have a code, you have written some script or code, okay, algorithm, and you're going to reuse that for different purpose. Okay, same code, you're going to use it for different or specific task. Okay, it allows code. What are the benefit? Okay, one is reusability. Okay, the code can be used for some other purpose. Okay, same code you can use it for other modules also. Okay, and helps in dividing large program into smaller and manageable chunks. For example, you have a code that you have written 10,000 lines, okay, without giving any break or bifurcation of your code, right? What happens is when there is an error or when there is a bug or when there is a issue, right, with your code, it creates a lot of problem to track, right? If you have, so if you create your program in a function in small functions, okay, and if there is a requirement to call the same function again for other for um, uh, other specific tasks, you can use that. Okay, so function is nothing but it's a reusable block of code that performs a specific task. Okay, and what it allows, code reusability, and also function helps you dividing large program into smaller chunks, right? So for example, you have ABC project. For example, I can give one real-time example is you are constructing a very large gated community, right? So what you will do is you will divide into block A, block B, block C, block D, right? You cannot connect everything and do it. For example, if there is a issue with some structural design, what you have to do is you have to break everything, right? So it's a huge loss. Similarly here, so we say function to divide your code into small reusable code. Okay, simple English. Okay, and these are the benefits. One is code reusability, and you can divide your large program into smaller chunks, and that can be sorry, that can be manageable. Okay, now what are the types of functions we have? Okay, we have built-in function and user-defined function. Okay, one classic example is print statement. In Python, we started learning about the print statement. Okay, this is a function. Whenever any function, okay, so for example, just assume, okay, function, any name, okay, and if it has open and close braces, we call this as a function. Okay, and this is the syntax. Okay, let's write it down here. This is how you're going to define the function. Function name, open close braces, plain braces, and followed by a colon. Okay, and then you will write your function. Now, okay, I'll give you one more example. What is- okay. Okay. I will take a class called vehicle. Okay. Now under vehicle, okay, you have two-wheeler, four-wheeler. Okay. Now what is the difference between two-wheeler and four-wheeler? Obviously, two-wheeler has two tires, four, right? But what about the functions? Okay. Okay. So I'll start with basic function. Just assume you have a vehicle, a scooty, bike, anything, right? So first thing what you do is you insert a key and you start, right? So start is one function, okay, which is common for four-wheeler and two-wheeler. Second, okay, accelerator. Okay, accelerator is common, right? Only difference is on bike you give it with hand. On cars you have to use your leg, okay, to give the accelerator, right? That is another function. Okay, what are the other function? Clutch. Okay, you apply clutch and then you apply what is it called, gear, right? Apply gear, and then what you do is you will give the accelerator and your vehicle will move, right? And when there is an object, what do? You apply brake. So brake is one function. Okay, now if you see here, what I'm trying to articulate here is in function when you have two-wheeler and four-wheeler, the start process is same in two-wheeler and four-wheeler, right? And accelerator is same. Only difference is you apply your leg to apply your accelerator, and the two-wheeler you use with your hand, right? And what is the next one? Clutch. Okay, you apply clutch, you change gear, and then you start moving, right? And then apply gear. Okay, apply gear is common in both two-wheeler and four-wheeler. Okay, now again you can relate this two-wheeler with automatic vehicles and manual transmission. Okay, automatic is you don't have to apply any gear, you just give the accelerator, it keeps moving, right? So these are the some of the functions that I see common in both. So whenever I am writing a four-wheeler function, okay, I can borrow the start function, I can borrow the accelerator function, I can borrow the clutch function, and I can apply the brake function and brake function, which is common in both the two-wheeler and four-wheeler, right? Now again, I can bifurcate in four-wheelers based on uh, I can say I have a vehicle called Volvo. Okay, okay, and another one I'll take as Toyota. Okay, two vehicle example. Okay, in Volvo and Toyota, okay, you have a start process. You have to insert the key and then you have to turn to start the engine or press the engine, push buttons. Nowadays, you see the latest technology, right? And accelerator is common in both the vehicles. Okay, and clutch is same. You apply clutch to move forward and then apply brake, sorry, gear, and then you get moved, right? Now here, what you understand here by this example is I'm going to use the same code, okay? Same code for my other classes. These are called classes, okay? We have OOPS concept, okay, in the upcoming classes. So you will understand what is class, what is object, okay? I have a class called vehicle. Under vehicle, I have Toyota, I have Maruti, okay? Grand Vitara, okay, and then I have Mahindra XUV, okay, Harrier, okay. In all these three vehicles, I'm writing a program to uh, to apply some functions, okay. So I can borrow all these functions because it applies in all four-wheeler vehicles, right? So what I'm trying to say here is a function is a reusable block of code that performs a specific task. Okay, these are the tasks. Okay, these are the tasks. Okay, this is just an example. Okay, you can take another classic example is mobile phones. Okay, now in mobile phones, what are the models we have? If you see iOS and Android. Okay, now I'll take one example of iOS is iPhone 16 Pro. Okay, for example, and other side I will take Samsung S25 Ultra. Okay, comparison mobile. Okay, now I want to write a function. What are the function? Common. First thing what you do is you take your phone, you unlock it. Right? What do you do? You swipe or you have a biometric. Right? I can say login. Okay, both are same in iPhone as well as Samsung. It could be facial recognition, biometric, right? And you can use your thumb to unlock on Samsung. Okay, it doesn't allow. Yeah, it do allow in iPhone. Yes, you have a biometric. So login, you can say biometric facial. Biometric face, facial. What else? Password, right? You use all these things to log in. First thing, right? Now after login, what do you do? You take call, you make call, right? Right. Next thing, what do you do after making? You browse, right? Okay. Now, what do you open apps? Different apps you can open. Okay. Maybe you in Samsung you'll open YouTube. Okay. And in iPhone you can use Instagram application, right? Instagram application. And other function I can say charge. Charging. Okay. Now, what are the type of chargings available in both the phones? One is USB C type. You use your phone, right, to charge, right? You connect a cable, and other option is wireless charging. If you have a wireless dock, uh, I mean that you can connect to your laptop or on the power plug, and then you can just place your phone on top of it, which will charge your mobile phone. Okay. Now you see here, whatever the functions we have listed here, which is common for both, right? Whenever I'm using a class called iPhone 16 Pro, I can borrow this login, I can borrow this calls because in both the phones you take and you make calls, right? And apart from that, what do? You browse applications. I mean, it's I mean, subjective from person to person. Some person like YouTube, some Insta, some LinkedIn, right? So browsing is a generic. Okay, charging is common in both the applications, both the classes, which is USB-C type you'd use the port and wireless. If you have the wireless dock, you'll just place your mobile on the dock and it will start charging your mobile phone. Now, what are we trying to understand here is, so see, these functions, you will see we do that function, we use that in our day-to-day life also, right? The only thing is you will find something common, okay, between person to person. Okay, maybe the same person is doing something in Excel, he's opening the Excel and he is updating. Okay, same person, person two is doing the same thing, right? So what we are trying to get here is function is a reusable block of code that can perform a specific task. Okay, that is point one. And code reusability. And you are dividing your entire program into breaking into login. This is one module. This is another module called calls. This is another module called browse. This is another module called charging. Okay. Now, when you have a problem with charging, okay, what you'll do is you will go to the charging function, you will search the charging function, and you'll see whether the code has some issue. Okay, if your if your mobile is charging, but it is going very slow, so you'll say, okay, so I have to change some code where it should charge super fast so that I can it can do within 10 or 15 minutes full charge 100%. So you can write those code. Okay, you can release the current to charge your laptop super fast. Okay, so this is where these functions will be useful for troubleshooting. Okay, now what are the built-in functions? Okay, one is print. Let me on this. Okay, so what is a function? A function is a reusable block of code. Okay, and it performs specific. What is the specific task in our example? One is apply brake, clutch, brake, accelerator, start. Okay, these are common from vehicle to vehicle, right? So you can use the same. Say for example, I have four-wheeler. I'm writing a program for Volvo. Okay, I can borrow all these things. Okay, and tomorrow I got a order for Toyota. I have to write a program for Toyota class. Okay, what I'll do is, okay, start is common, right? I'll pick the start function and I'll call in this class and I can make use of. See, I'm excluding the time that it requires to write a function, right? So I'm just borrowing this function and I'm using it here. Okay, that is the idea here. Okay, it performs specific task. Okay, second one is reusable. Uh, sorry, code reusability. Okay, code code reusability. Okay, and third one is dividing dividing uh, large program into smaller and manageable chunks. Okay. If someone asks you in the interview what is the difference between function and modules, you can just tell them function is nothing. It's a reusable block of code. It performs specific task, and you can use the code reusability, and it also helps to break your big program into chunks so that it helps in debugging. Okay. I need to change mark. Okay, these are three. And what are the types of functions we have? Okay, one is built-in. I'll just make all these headings, guy. Okay, so I want to do a live. Okay, I don't like the concept of reading PowerPoint. Okay, this PPT, I think you will get it all these things. Okay, define a function reusable code that performs specific. Same thing I've written there. Okay, and how do you define a function, syntax and all? I'll go through it now. Okay, the same thing. Okay, I like to do a practical here. Okay, with each and everything so that it helps you understand the core concepts. Okay, so one is uh, built in, sorry, built in functions. Okay. Now, what are the built-in functions? Okay. Simple is print statement that we learned in our basic. Okay. Length also is a function wherever you have a braces. Okay. I'll also give an example. How do you identify difference between instance, function, class? Okay. As we go along, I'll guide you. Okay. Type. These are the some of the functions. Okay. Now list two. Okay. What was the first one? Built-in function. Okay. Now the second one is user-defined. User-defined functions. Okay. Now, for example, if you see, when you buy a house or looking for a house, right? What you do is one is already predefined, okay, which is ready to occupy, and another one is where it is at very initial stage where you will work with the builder and you will give some customization. Boss, I want a kitchen like this. I want my balcony like this, or some modification, right? So now, if you see the first point, built-in function is predefined. It is predefined by Python. Okay. Now, what is user defined? User defined is something that you are creating your function and you are adding some logic to your function to do some basic uh, functionality to your program. Okay. It is created by the user to perform what? A specific task. Okay. These are the 2 points that I can think of. Okay, we'll have some hands and guys. Okay, now next one is syntax. Syntax is very important. Okay, whenever you learn anything, right, even for building a house, what is the syntax? Okay, in simple terms, what is the basic building block for building a house? Okay, first is land, then you will raise the pillars, okay, and then flooring, and then all corners you will cover with bricks, and later on you'll do the plastering and then beautification, right? Tiles, painting, and all that, right? Similarly here, so every programming language we call it as syntax. Okay, so syntax tells us the how do you write a function, how do you write a program. Okay, these are the predefined one you have to follow. Okay, syntax is nothing but your this thing. Okay, or I can say blueprint.
Basically, a format.
Correct. Like you write email format, when you send it to other side, what do? You will say on the left hand side to the person, and then you will have a subject, and right hand side you'll have a date, right? And then at the bottom you'll have your signature, right? Same thing. It's the same thing. Syntax is nothing but a format. Okay, so we'll see how to write a not system, syntax. Okay, so how do we write a syntax? So we will start with DEF. DEF stands for define function. Okay, and then you have to write your function name. Okay, function name, and then followed by close, open and close braces, full. Then here you will write your logic, whatever you want to do. Okay, for example, where is the print? Okay, Python is a case sensitive guy. So if P is written in small, okay, sorry, in capital, it will throw an error. So it has to be in small, lowercase. Just make sure you don't forget that. Okay, so I'm writing a simple program. Greetings, welcome to Python training class. Okay, okay. Now I've written a simple function. Okay, I can name this as, instead of function name, I can say uh, greetings. Okay, you can give any name. Like I said, any name. See, for example, right now you guys are there in my training program, right? Tomorrow there is a new team who are joining in the morning class. So what I'll do is I'll call this function, and what they will do is they'll get this same message. And after that batch is done, I'll use the same greeting. So what I'm doing is I'm reusing the code. I'm not writing this. I'm writing one time. I'm just calling that function in all my modules to make use of that function. Okay, I'll run this. Okay, and how do I invoke that? Okay, you can say greeting. Okay, now you see. Okay, yeah, I want to show this. Okay, you have a tab on your keyboard, right? If you are practicing along with me, okay, if you press a tab on your keyboard, okay, first letter you can write, and then use the tab function on your keyboard to get a uh, recommendation here. Okay, okay, sorry, I have to put open and close bracket. Okay, now you see, greetings, welcome to my Python training class. Okay, I'm using the same code in batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, batch 4. So what I'm doing is, though my batch is changing, but I'm using the same function. I'm not writing this. One time you write it, forget it, that's it. You just call that function if the function is same for every modules. Okay, this is one such example style. Simple. Okay, any doubt so far?
No, sir.
No, sir. Going
Understood?
good.
Okay,
Yep.
good. Okay, and also see keyboard shortcuts. Every time I'm going here and clicking on the play side, right, to run this code on this cell. If you want to do it through a keyboard shortcut, what you have to do is you have to press Control and Enter. Okay, you can do that also. Okay, you can see it keep on giving me continuously. Okay, so this is how you can play around. Okay, so what happens if what is greeting? If I type it here, what happens? Okay, you have to do all those experiments. This is simple example, basic function. This is a basic function. Okay, this is syntax. Okay, 1 minute, I'll write out the syntax also. Okay, for define function name. This is a basic skeleton. Open, close bracket, colon, and here you will write your statement. Okay, I'll put it in comment. Your logic plus state. Okay, so hash is used to add a comments. Okay, when Python runs, it will not run this statement. Okay, it will skip that because hash Python understand as a comment, so it will not compile this line. Okay, so you can write whatever the comments you want. Okay, but you have to put a hash, otherwise it will throw an error. If I run this, if I remove this and run this, it will throw invalid syntax. It doesn't understand what is this UR plus login plus statement. It doesn't understand Python. Okay, so I'm putting a hash here. Sorry, hash. Okay, incomplete statement. Okay. Now, if you want to call this function, what you'll do is in the next line, I'll make a note here. Okay. How do you call the functions? Okay. With the function name, whatever the name is there. In my case, function name, and you can see here, I'm just calling it, and always you have to put this brackets. Okay. Hello, whatever the message. Okay. If I'm adding two numbers, if I'm saying print apply break. Okay. Okay. So it is applying break. Okay. These are some of the functionality. Okay. So you can write programs, you can add two numbers, you can automate everything, right? Using a function. So generally when we do automation, we write functions only. Okay. Even in real time scenario, we don't just like that write a simple script to pick, because you will find some difficulty with the normal programming than function. Okay. Function, that is the reason why we have function, so that you can reuse all the capability of this function for your specific task. That is the reason we called it specific task. Okay. Now we'll learn about functions with parameter. Okay. Pay attention here. Functions with parameters. Okay. Now, what is this functions with parameters? Okay. Now, I'll give you one example. I'll say define welcome message. Okay. I'll create a variable called name, and I want to add guest. Okay. Guest. Okay. The next line, I want to add a print statement, print. I will write, what is that? Welcome. Mhm. And use name. Okay, I'll run this. Okay, here I made a mistake. See, expected. So Python will give you where the syntax error is. It clearly says line 1. Okay, so line 1, we know what is the syntax it talks about. After the name, colon, we should have braces, we should have a colon. In my case, I'm missing that. I'll put a colon. Okay, done. Now, if I say, what is my function name? Welcome. Welcome. I can say Suren. Okay, welcome to my training, Suren. See, it is automated. I'm typing just a name here. It is picking up all these things and doing it. Okay, whoever name I'll take, it will type. See, okay. So what I'm writing is, I'm not writing this entire 2 lines program. I'm just writing 1 line and passing the name, and it is prompting for a welcome note. Okay. So this is a what is this parameter, functions with parameter. Okay, whenever you are passing some value within a function, we call this a function with parameter. Okay, and this comes only by practice, guys. Okay, practice is needed. I'll give you some homework also this week. Okay, so that you can try, you can search Google and all, but you try first of your own. Okay, try to get from the content what I have delivered, so that first try your effort and see. If you're not getting, then you can go to the different route of internet and searching. Okay. Now, yeah, I can give one more example is uh, return multiples. Okay. So these are the scenario you'll come across in your real time when you're working on Python. Okay. Multiple values. Now you see here, there is only one value. Multiple means, yes, you will have one or two or three or four. These are the parameters that you will come across. Okay. So I'll create a simple calculator. Okay. I'll say define function. I'll say calculator. Okay. I'll give a name called calculator function. Okay. Now I'll pass two values. In calculator, what do you do? A system calculator. I'll just bring that up. This calculator. Okay. This is my calculator. Okay. What do you do is, if I want to do some operation, I need first one variable, then I will add plus and then another variable. So what is happening here? I'm adding two values, right? First value, second value, and then I'm doing some operation. Okay. Like division, subtraction, multiplication, modulus, or whatever, plus, minus, and all, right? So you need to, when we say calculator, when you're building, it accepts two numbers. Okay, it could be more. Okay, in my case, two, x and y. Okay, syntax is this, first line. Okay, second line, what I want to do, I want to do some mathematical operation. Return x plus y. Okay, comma, x minus y, comma, x uh, divided by y. Okay, I'm doing here three operations. Okay, one is addition, subtraction, and division. Okay, clear, guys? Okay, now what we'll do is we will uh, we will call we'll run this first. Sorry, guys, I got distracted. I got a message from office. Okay, so this one I ran. Okay, now how do you run? Simple. Calculator function. So I want to pass two values. Okay, uh, 10 comma 5. This is how you have to pass the parameter. Okay, within a bracket. See, first is what? Plus 10 plus 5, 15. Okay, second one, x minus y. 10 minus 5, 5. And what is the other one? X divided by this 2. See, I'm doing multiple in only one function. Now, wherever I need this calculation, I'll just call this calculation function in my program, other program, and I can make use of it. So what is happening? One is code reusability, okay, and easy debugging, because if you have a bit and pieces, it will be easy for making those changes and uh, addition or adding or removing that function based, or you can customize based on your needs. Clear so far, guys? Function, yes, no?
Yes, Suren. Yes.
Yes, Suren.
Okay, good. I'll give you some homework also, not today, this week, okay, on Thursday. Now let's focus on modules. Which, modules, okay. Sorry, I got distracted. I was checking my WhatsApp message. Sorry about that. Okay, modules. Okay, so this entire topic is on two things. Okay, module and function. Okay, so we have seen what is function, reusable code, a block of code reusability helps in dividing large program into small. Okay, you can take, see, when you relate all these things with the real time examples that I gave you, the construction site, right? So uh, if they jumble everything, okay, into one block, okay, what if tomorrow if there is a crack developed in one of the floors, what happens? Everybody has to vacate the building and until and unless it is repaired, right? So there is a problem, you see. Okay, so entire code is down. Okay, the functionality is down, and the entire this thing is down, right? So you can see a downtime whenever you build something in one block of code. Okay, so that is the reason we create blocks. Okay, like even if you see as the construction site, you might have seen block A, block B, block C, block D, and each are connected with the separate pipeline. Okay, if there is a pipeline issue, okay, see, other blocks they'll not get affected. Only the block where the problem is there, okay, they will stop the water flow tank, and then they will investigate why the water flow is not coming to all the flats, right? Could be some dust in the pipes, and they will clean that up and then they will fix it. Now you see what is happening here. Okay, all the modules that you see, right, buildings, block A, B, C, D are not getting affected, whereas you are getting affected with only one block, right? So that downtime is okay still, but not all the blocks. Okay, now we'll head towards modules. Now, what is a module? Okay, so in simple term, a module is a file containing a Python code. Like it could include function, it could includes class or variables that you can import into your script, into your program. Okay. Okay, what all it includes? It could include your functions, classes, uh, or variables. Okay, that you can import into your script. Okay, this is the definition that I can think of about modules. Okay, now why do we use modules? Why do we use modules? Okay, one minute. So I have to add this as H2. Okay, subheading. Yeah, I have to take one session on HTML for you guys for formatting. I'll take that also. Okay, I've not prepared any slides for that. Give me some time till this weekend. Weekends I'll prepare a slide, and then I will deliver that also. Okay, so here what I want to say is, why do we use? Okay, to use code access in multiple programs. Okay, second one is to organize code. Okay, same thing. Organized code is nothing but in blocks, building blocks. Okay, if you create a small building blocks for each and every task, right? If one task fails, it will fail the only one task. If you see, and most of you are familiar with Amazon, right? Okay. Now, if you see here, okay, whatever you see on your screen, this is called a catalog. Okay. So what they have done is they are using micro segmentation. Okay. So if you see the architecture, overall architecture of Amazon, Amazon website. Okay. So this is divided into micro segmentation. Okay. Or microservices. Okay. Microservice is nothing but dividing each and every block. Okay. Now, for example, uh, I have one block here called catalog. Now I can browse, I can see all the catalogs and all those things, right? And we have one more catalog called cart. Okay. Now what does the cart do? Whenever you like anything, you will add it in a cart. This is a separate module. Okay. Separate function. Just think about function. Okay. And there is one more function called billing. Okay. So all are not included in one particular block. Okay. Now, if something happens in the cart, right, it will still not fail your billing module. Okay. Still, you will be able to uh, uh, continue with your billing, and you can pay your payment, and you can continue. Okay. What if the catalog fails? Catalog fails. That's fine. It will not affect your billing. It will not affect your cart. Okay, that is how they have this concept that we are seeing right now in Amazon. It is called microservices. Okay, same thing you can see in Netflix also. Okay, if one module, so there are different modules are there. Whatever the blocks or rows that you see in a what is that called, in a tiles, right? You get a movie name, right? Hindi, English, Telugu, Marathi, or whatever, right? Those are all different microservices. If English fails, Hindi will not fail. Hindi will still be available. You can still continue to click on it, and then you can play the movie, right? That is how they have created. These are called microservices. We'll cover all this concept later on. Okay, this is all theory. Okay, good to know all these things to refresh our minds so that you will should be able to answer or face any interviews. Okay, and other thing that I can think of is to reduce duplication. Duplication. Okay, these are the 4 or 3 points that I can think of. Okay, I have to close here. H. Okay. Why do we use model? To use code access in multiple programs, to organize code, to reduce duplication. Okay. Now we'll see some of the modules. Okay. Now, what are the type of modules you have? Okay. Okay. If you keep on practicing, right now I'm writing right all this, it will get a habit, guys. I'm telling you. Whenever you want to infer your data or give some narration about your data output, right? You can write it here and you can present the same Jupyter notebook with your leadership. Okay, you don't need a separate PPT and all. Okay, there are some add-ons for PPT and PDF. You can make use of those. Like for example, we have this one, the save and export to PDF is there. Then you have HTML, right? You have all these things. Web PDF is there. So if you send this format, anybody can open in any device that has a browser. Okay, so you have to think what formatting and all you want to save your files. Okay, types of modules. Simple, like as like we saw in functions, we have built-in, built modules. Second one is uh, user defined modules. Okay, user defined and built-in. Okay, now what are the examples of built-in? Simple, I'll take, we have very good math. Okay, math, date, time function modules are the date time modules that you can use. I'll show you all those examples. Okay, random. This is very famous. You can use for a lot of things, random modules. Okay, and user defined is you will create a file called any name with py file. Okay, py stands for the extension. Okay, extension of a Python file. Okay, in Jupyter Notebook, you know the extension, right? IPYNB, right? You guys recall or forgot everything basics? Where is my computer? Okay, if you see here, these are all Python. Okay, so right now, what is the name? Module, function, and modules. Okay, this one. Okay, if you see this one, this file, you can say it says Jupyter source file. Okay, now what is the extension of this? You right click, go to properties, and you can see IPYNB. Okay, I stands for interactive, PY stands for Python, NB stands for notebook. That's the short form of the extension. Like Excel, you have a extension of .xls. Doc file, you have a .doc. Okay, if you are familiar with Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, what is the extension for PowerPoint? PPT. Okay, what is the extension for text file? TXT. Okay, you open Notepad often on your laptop and you take a notes and then you save it, right? Similarly, every file will have extension. So for the Python notebook, the extension is IPYNB. Okay, interactive Python notebook. So it is interactive. Okay. Likewise, you can create a Python file and then you can call that file here. Okay, so I'll write just a simple some name custom dot py. Okay, py stands for Python files. Okay, this is the example. Okay, now I will give an example for using a built-in module. Okay, so guys, are you able to get today's content? If you're not able to, let me know where you didn't understand. I want to hear from you guys. Using a built-in module. Okay. Now, what are the built-in module? If you see these examples, we have some math libraries, date and time libraries, and random. Okay, these are some of the examples. There are a lot. There are a lot. Okay. How do you find? You have to go to the Python documentation. Okay. The good practice is always modules documentation. Okay, if you go to this docs.python.org, their standard documentation, you can see on the left hand side we have a lot of modules. Okay, so you can see the Fibonacci series. Okay, you might have done this when you started learning Python. Sorry, programming, right? So COBOL, Fortran, and all that, right? You can use all these things. So you have a lot of examples. You have to go one by one. Okay, just make it bigger. I think it is very small. Okay, now if you see here, standard modules. Okay, system. Okay, what is the use of system? You can do a lot of manipulation with your operating system. Okay, system. Those who are working on automation, they can use Python to do a Python system automation, something like cache deletion, or you want to do some uh, automation, you can do that. Okay, so this, see, always whenever you get time, go read. Okay, so in simple term, you say a module is a file containing Python definition and statement. That is true. Okay. The name, the file name is a module name with a suffix .py. Okay. So I gave you just custom.py, right? Same thing. Within a module, the module name as a string is available as a value of the global variable. Okay. You will understand what is global. Okay. 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 Now I'll give you one example. Okay. First thing is first, we need to import the module into your program. So how do you use? You will use a keyword called import. Keyword, give a space, and I will say math. Okay. So in math, we'll get all the formulas, everything is there in the math function. Okay. If I type math dot, if I press tab, you see cos, sin, tan, tan2. These are all the functions. Okay. So you can see right hand side, it says function. This is how you can see. After dot, you just press the tab on your keyboard. You'll get all the function names. Okay, this is a statement. See, you need to statement. You'll see classes also somewhere. Okay, so square root. So we'll use something called square root. Okay, just for understanding our example, I'm using an import method to import the modules that was predefined in Python. Someone has written. I'm making use of that without writing any file. I'm just saying import math, and then I'll say print math dot square root sqrt, this function. Whenever you see right hand side function, you have to put open and close bracket. Now I have to pass a parameter. What do you want to do? I want a square root for 25. Okay. Okay. I will run this. You see, 5 is the square root. Got it? Same thing. You can do another example. Print math dot pi. Okay. What is the value of pi? 3.14. 22 by 7. Okay. So you have learned all this in your academics. Basics. Okay. Now I'll show you the other example. What is the date? Okay. Import date time as dt. Okay. Now what is dt and why I'm writing as dt? Okay. This is called alias. Okay. I can write date time. I don't need this. Okay. But what happens since as you go along, right, you will see some function name, very lengthy name. Okay. So always we create a alias and you will call that function for that this thing for that particular module. Okay. I'll show you one example. Print. Instead of date time, I can say dt dot, I can say date, dt dot tab. It is not coming. Date time dot now. Now what it does is it picks up the current system timing. Whatever the system time you have on the right hand side or corner, it will display that. Okay. Mm, okay, date. Okay, see here I made a mistake. Import, it is date, it is not data. Okay, sorry. Date time. Okay, now it will work. Okay, I'll take this in the next line so that it will help you understand. Okay, so in the next line, I'm writing, I'll just say dt dot tab. I have date time dot. Okay, this is called a auto population. Okay, so it will give you the recommendation by Python, which oh, sorry, not Python, Jupyter Notebook. Okay, which function you are looking for. I'm looking for now. Okay, and you can type the first letter, and it says now. You see right hand side, it's a function. So what do? You will say close bracket, and you have to close the first bracket. Okay, so this is for this. This is for print. Now I'll run it. So you can see the timing. Today is what? 2025 7/8 month and 8 date, and this is the system time 21:38:34 seconds. Okay, and this is milliseconds. So it gets all your information. Okay, I can show one more. Import OS. Okay, import OS. I'll run this, and then I'll say OS dot. Okay, I want to see my current working directory. I'll say get. Okay, you have something called get current working directory, CWD, and it's a function. You open, close, and then run it. See, current working directory, C users administrator. So you can use this function, OS function, for manipulating settings, reading some settings from the operating system for automation. These are just the examples, guys. I think we are top of the hour, 9:39. Sorry. Okay. I didn't notice. I thought I have one more module tomorrow on this one, user defined module. We'll see it tomorrow. Okay. And tomorrow I'll share this file. Okay. Meanwhile, I've shared this PPT with everybody. Just go through it. Okay. So these, see here and all, I will add very basics. Okay. So when I do this hands-on, right, I'll give different examples to help you understand. Okay, clear, guys? Yes, no? Okay, good. And Saib, you can share the recording after this so that they can also refer tomorrow if they want to. And tomorrow we have one more module that I have to finish is this one, and then we'll do lot of hands. Okay. Chalo, guys. I think we are on top of the hour. So